Welcome everyone to the exciting episode of Two Bar Connections of your host Jesse and
James. What's going on, everybody?
what is going on indeed. So for today's episode, we got another doozy of news to go through. It was originally going to be kind of a pretty lax. It was kind of funny because originally we were like, yeah, I don't really know if we're gonna have much to talk about this week. But yeah, apparently WB decided to drop a bomb and they decided to close 3 studios, one of which is Monolith Productions, which is an amazing studio with a very long legacy of great games. We also have Marvel Rivals, some really weird layoffs and some contradictory statements from NetEase concerning their global investments, whether or not they're getting cold feet. We also have the Dauntless, the Monster Hunter clone that is being closed in May. We also have Ubisoft, friends of the podcast, once again, having the worst PR nightmare in the world with Assassin's Creed Shadows. We also have another bomb with Amazon finally acquiring the creative rights to James Bond. We also have Kathleen Kennedy, who is the producer of current day Star Wars, has announced that she is stepping down for the end of the year. We also have some pretty good news too with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 selling really, really well. And we also have Final Fantasy VII on PC also apparently selling pretty well too. But before we get into all that, how have you been?
Oh, I've been hunting to my heart's delight, bro. I can't really say much more than that, dude. Well, me and you both have been playing this game nonstop. Yesterday, we played it for like 8 hours straight, from 4 all the way to 1 in the morning.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds, for those of you wondering.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we did get Monster Hunter Wilds without upgraded PCs, which is kind of our fault, but we kind of were waiting to see, especially now with kind of the disastrous launch of Nvidia's new card. Everything is kind of a bit up in the air, which me and Jesse will discuss later. But yeah, I don't think it matters what graphics card you have or what rig, because the game is so poorly optimized. That's the best term we can use to
describe. It runs like balls.
It runs like no, man. It runs like dog shit. Like, it looks gross. Like some of the textures won't even load in, so it just looks like mush. My Palico. I'm sorry, my felines.
Hey, Palico.
Yeah, my Palico. Yeah. I feel they say felines too, but they like what?
That's their species, but I think they call them palicos.
Oh, okay, they call them palicos. Oh, okay, so I guess it's the same term. But anyway, but the palico, I had an armor. He looked like a knight from the Spanish Inquisition, and the texture on it was just mush. Like, you couldn't even see it. It looked like crap. I mean, I don't know if I sent you a picture. No, I didn't. I sent you a picture of something else.
Yeah, the black plains.
Dude, the black plains just there, like.
I saw it.
Only when I looked, and dude, it was like it was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. Like, that game, which honestly is just an example and a symptom of a bigger problem that's been going on in the games industry, which we'll touch on that in the next episode. But like, these devs are just getting really lazy with optimizing their games. Like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. I don't know what's happening with that. But despite its issues in that front, the game's great. I would just wish we could play more, but
or at all, because apparently Capcom has implemented the fucking worst multiplayer I've ever seen, in any game at all. The party system is just absolute
it's crap.
Dog shit.
It is a dog shit system.
It is so confusing and requires so many steps. And if at any point it breaks during that process, you're fucked. You have to just wait. It's so stupid. Pretty much what you do is you have to set up something called a link party when you go to your base camp, and then you go and do the story stuff, right? Which story stuff is pretty much unavoidable in this game, because most Modern Hunters, you can kind of avoid the story, just go and hunt and stuff. But this game, they really want to push the story on you, right? And if you want to unlock new stuff, you have to go through the story. So we go through the story, right? But you can't, in a normal game, you think, oh, I'm just going to invite my friend and we'll just go through the story together. Oh, no. Capcom, in all their wisdom, were like, no. You have to set up a link party first, right? You can't be in the same lobby as each other, same instance, right? Because that's a foreign concept to Capcom. So you have to set up a link party to someone. And then when you start the quest, right, which begins when you actually start fighting the monster, then it will send an automatic invite, which then you will have to, your friend or yourself will have to accept, which, by the way, it's a very small notification. Like, you can barely see it. Like, it doesn't have a big giant, sound or anything like that. You just have to read it off to the side, right? And you
because the game,
your friend.
Because the game expects you to just sit there and wait for your friend to have the notification sent. because you could be doing other things. But you have to wait for the notification to be sent, and then let's say that you accept it and you add and you go, okay, you accept and go to lobby. Then the game drops you off at a base camp far away from where your friend is fighting, and you have to, on your sacred, run to your friend, who is probably getting his ass whooped in the process.
Yes. And then at any point, like you fail to connect, well, guess what? There's no way to invite your friend in the middle of a hunt. Like once that invitation's sent, that's your only lifeline. So if they don't connect, which is what we had problems with a lot, we would just disconnect. That's it.
We would just get an error code.
You get fucked.
Yep. And what sucks too is we're doing fixes for this while we're hunting. So we're literally sending a link invitation, then we're, looking at the invitation list, accepting or sending out the requests, and we're doing all of this while we're fighting the monster. So it's just the biggest piece of dog shit you would ever see it as far as multiplayer goes. It's so hard to play with friends. And thankfully though, it's only for the story, because once we caught up, story wise, I think it was a lot easier. And also, easier being a very loose term. But I think once we finish the story stuff, it'll be way easier to just jump into the world itself through what they call environmental links, where you'll be put into the same instance as your bud. And then from there, you can just kind of, run around and kill monsters, one after another without having to, go back to lobby like they did in Rise. Which you would know a lot more about how they did it in comparison, like when you compare Rise to World, which you said it follows World's example when it comes to game design.
Yeah, World has pretty crappy ass multiplayer too. It's not too dissimilar to how they do it here, except you have to send an SOS in World, so you have to like send up a flare like in the middle of the fight, and then you have to have your friend like come in and do it. Whereas in Wilds, you can actually like set up ahead of time, so at least there's that, right? You don't have to like run around. But then it's also fucked up because like if you're too far ahead of your friend, like you're not in the same exact like fight at the same time, or if one friend's like slightly behind you, then you can't join at all, right? So then let's say like both of your friends the same monster at the same time, and I'm like, okay, James, now you can join my fight. Well, James has to run away from the monster he's fighting, then get into the invitation menu, accept the invitation, and then sit there and wait and pray to God that his internet connects to it fast enough. And if at any point in time the monster hits him, he has to do the process all over again because it knocks him back to the menu to off the menu.
If that's a weirdly specific example, it's because it literally happened to us last night. That's why we're I was gonna join his fight because he was fighting the same monster that I was, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'll just join you. That way I don't have to get my ass beat alone. And literally in the middle of the thing where it said joining quest, I got my shit rocked, and it interrupted the connection. And so I was there like, wait, I thought I joined. What the hell? And no, I had to restart it. I literally had to run away, like far away. Like I had to essentially hide in the bushes before I can join him. Yeah, but those are the only issues with the game, and as glaring as they are, the fact that we still put in 8 hours playing it just shows you how fun this game is. And we've even come to the conclusion that we're just gonna bum rush the story so that we can just get to the end game and really enjoy playing the game with each other. Because this is gotta say, pretty fun game. And also, the Switch Axe is OP as fuck, especially the one I'm rocking. I thought it was gonna be pretty ass, the iron one. I went back to the iron one, but my bae Gemma recommended that I upgrade it, and it's pretty damn good. What I like about it is that with the other one, the Hope Axe, it takes really long to charge up the sword aspect of the Switchblade, of the Switch Axe, but with the iron one, with the poison that has poison capabilities, it charges so fast that I'm finding myself using the sword way more, and it has a special where you like stab the monster, and if you make contact with it, you actually jump onto it and stab it, and it just does like damage. Like I think actually the upgraded one does 23 per second. It just goes and then just does an explosion. with the Hope Axe, it took way too long to charge, but with the Iron one, I feel, dude, I literally charge it completely in like two or three swings, and I'm already like on the monster jabbing it.
Damn.
So,
Okay. Sounds like a good time.
oh, dude, it's OP as hell. Like I can't wait to show you. I mean, assuming I don't get a better axe, but dude, you know, it's pretty good for what I consider to be a like just a standard. It's a standard. It's not even an axe that you can or a switch axe that you can make with monster parts. Like it's one of the ones that you make strictly with ore, and that's that fucking good. So
That's good to hear.
yeah, it's pretty good to hear. So and other than that, I've actually been dicking around with learning Python, the coding language. Yeah, so there's a website called boot.dev that actually offers
Yes.
classes. You heard of it?
I've heard of it. Yes.
Oh, okay, worth it. Very, very good. They have many, many classes. They actually have a discount code that I used with a YouTuber that I watch. I believe, man, I forgot his name. He's not he's getting up there. He's one of like the lesser known voices, but he's still a voice. I think he has like 500 subscribers. Man, he's got a beard. Hang on. Oh, Legendary Drops is his name.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a code, and I used it and I bought like a year's access to see how it was, and dude, pretty good. It's pretty good, and Python is actually a very easy language to learn, which they did do it on purpose. They said that Python is the best language for beginners because it's the one that reads the most like plain English,
Okay.
and they were right. So for you guys out there, definitely if you want to like learn coding, whether for a hobby or for a job, definitely check it out. I highly recommend it.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I forgot which video it was. I forgot which video it was. I'll have to look for it later.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, yeah, but it's pretty good. They offer like an XP leveling. They essentially they gamified it. So every time you successfully do a lesson, you get a certain amount of XP. There's like a leveling system and like quests that you can undertake, like oh get this much XP in 24 hours, that kind of thing.
All right. That sounds really cool. Like if you really wanted to get into to coding, and is it just coding in general, or is it like coding with the intention of like getting people into game development? Or
Both actually. They actually stress that they offer courses and they do project as well with the intention of applying for a job. Now, the one thing that they did stress though was that this was learning what they call back-end development. So you're learning how to code background processes, essentially like the part of the programs that you don't see, you know. And it's pretty good. And they even have so on top of like learning the course, there's also some other projects that you do, which helps build a portfolio that you can show off, to jobs if that's what your intention is. And they have courses like Python, Linux. They also have courses in cryptology, which I thought was like super cool. And of course, they have JavaScript as well, which I think is the last course.
okay. Is this right?
And wait up, I'm sorry, I don't have my window open. Let me see.
Boom.dev.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So it's 24 courses, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but I think this is an excellent way to get into programming because this is something I've always wanted to learn, but it was always, man, it always eluded me. But now I think I have more patience to actually sit down and
Yeah, that's what you need with coding. It's all just patience
yeah,
and googling a lot of shit. Oh, this thing broke.
yeah.
Okay, Google, how do I fix this?
Well, what's cool is you can see the solutions at the cost of your XP. So if you can solve the problem, if you could solve like the assignment without looking at the solution, you get like full XP points. But if you look at the solution, you get no XP, but it'll still show you how it's done.
Mm.
But they also have an artificial intelligence that you could sacrifice 50% of the XP for the assignment, and he actually will talk you through solving the coding problem or the debugging problem.
Hmm.
And he's actually really, really good at explaining it. Honestly, very surprised, considering it's an AI, but essentially Chat GPT just for the website.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. So highly recommend it. And what about you? How have you been?
I've been doing all right, just like you. Been hunting out there, hunting them monsters. I'm hunting for those frames that I can't get because I exceed the specs. I looked at it twice, all right, and I know I exceed the specs, and in this game I just cannot go past 45 frame on like any setting. I can put it on the lowest of lows, make it look like absolute garbo dog shit, and I still will be like at 45 frames tops. Sometimes I'll get to like 50 something, maybe close to 60, like 55, 58, 59. The cutscenes are great, of course, because it's cutscenes. It's not hard to run cutscenes, but then when you run the actual game, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But it's like you said,
know
man.
that.
Huh?
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like you said, right? We still played it for 8 hours. Like we still stomach through it for 8 hours because the game is just that fucking good. Like the combat is like the best it's ever been. At this point, like the focus mechanic they added to the game, like you can actually like aim with like an aiming reticle to like aim your attacks to like more precisely hit the monster. Like it's such a game changer because like so much of Monster Hunter is you like whiffing like 50% of your attacks, and sometimes it's kind of fun, but sometimes like fuck man, I really just want to hit this fucking thing because it's so annoying. But other times it's kind of fun like whiffing stuff and like oh okay, well,
you think you like and you also build up to like an insane combo, and then you just like the monster like moves at the last minute and you miss your last like swing that does OP damage. You're like fuck. So
but then on top of that, they have like the wound system where like if you hit them like a certain body parts for amount of times, like they'll develop a wound, and then when you enter focus mode, like it'll highlight the wound, and then you can press R1 or right bumper in your case, and it'll activate like a special attack that will pretty much detonate the wounds like an explosive and deal like a shitload of damage, like knock the monster on its ass, and it's so satisfying when you manage to do that. And then for the actual changes like the weapons themselves, like I mean for the switch axe, you were just talking about like how great the switch axe was. Well, I mean I'm a longsword enjoyer, right? I pretty much played only the longsword for like the longest time. I did like dabble with other weapons in World, but it's been so long that I don't really remember how they were. But like with longsword, they made longsword like so fucking fluid now, where like it's a very simple weapon where like you just build up the spirit gauge, and then you after you use the spirit gauge, like you have to finish the spirit combo, and then you level up the weapon, and then once you get to max level, you get access to the spirit homebreaker, which I think you see me do when I stab, and then I go flying up in the air and come flying down. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much like what you're trying to build up to the entire time. And it's a very simple process, right? But now with focus, I can aim my swings a lot easier, so I'll be able to land it more consistently.
Indeed.
And on top of that, they made it so that the finisher slash for the spirit combo can like translate, can be, so I can go into like my EIE stance, which is like my stance based attack. And then once I use the attack from the EIE stance, it helps boost the meter back up. So you spend all this meter, right? And then you level up the weapon, and then you go into EIE stance, and then you use the attack, and then it starts filling up the meter again. So like you could just constantly level up your weapon over and over and over again if you really know what you're doing with it. So it feels great to be able to do that.
What's the max level on the weapon?
It goes up to it levels up twice.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm sorry, 3 times, because it starts off nothing, then it goes gray, then yellow, then red. And then once it's in red, a timer starts, and once that timer begins, like you have better combos, you attack faster, you do more damage. Which the new combos is new, because in Rise it was you just did more damage, you had access to Helmbreaker, and that was it.
Yeah.
But now you attack faster, and you have access to Helmbreaker, and when you use Helmbreaker while in red level, you get a follow-up attack, which you saw me do. I did weeb spin shit that I do, and there's like a shitload of damage.
And there's a whole bunch of like slash marks around you.
Yeah,
like,
it does. But then it costs 2 levels. And you see the reason why like they increase the uptime so much, because they want you to get to red back to red as soon as possible. And if you're constantly spending 2 levels, you're never gonna get back up there. Because in Rise, like it's kind of a struggle to get to red, especially without the focus meter.
Yeah.
So they really increase like how much meter you can gain. But like from what I've heard, like around, like people are very happy with the way the weapons are. They're the best they've ever been.
I agree.
Especially with with the focus mode, and also with the wound system now. And then for I'm sorry, you're gonna say something?
No, I was also gonna say something else too. Something that really enhanced my gameplay was they gave parry abilities to a lot of these weapons, including the switch axe. So but you have to like time it right. My axe's uppercut, if you can time it with an enemy with a monster attack, it actually deflects them and knocks them on their ass, which is good.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Because Yeah. I think that also is true with the great sword, and I think they gave that as an option for some of the weapons that never had a parry system. Because you told me that you could parry with the long sword and rise,
Yeah,
correct?
you like iframe through them. It's not really like a parry. You
Oh,
iframe
okay.
through it. It's like a dodge into an attack.
Oh, okay then. All right, but was that intended as a
Yes,
feature, or
yes,
was it
that's
just
always been a longsword thing.
okay? So you see, I never had that option as with the switch axe. I either had to roll or just sit there and take the hit. but now, but now I can actually time an attack. Specifically, I think it's just the upswing,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's an option. And then if you can parry it, you actually use your grapple to zip into the monster to close in on them, which allows you to continue or start your combo of attacks. So excellent addition, I would say.
Yeah, and then the other big thing is they made the game seamless in other Monster Hunter games. Like you were in the Gathering Hub, which is pretty much like just a player lobby, and there you
Yeah.
do all your preparations. You get your items, right? Whatever items you need from your inventory. You eat your food so you can get your buffs, and you go to the blacksmith, get update on your weapons, and then you change your equipment to better suit for whatever the monster it is you're going to be fighting.
Hmm.
But in this game, right, it's all just one seamless world, right? That you just do your prep work at the base camp and you could literally just walk right outside. There's no loading screen or anything like that. And even when you're out in the wild, right, you can still do a lot of the prep stuff, right? You don't have to go back to like get another quest. Your quest counter follows you everywhere. Like she's a freaking,
Yeah.
everyone loves the Smith girl, right? But me, I love the quest girl. Her name is Alma, right?
Hey man, listen, she's cute. I'll give you that, but
It's the abs.
it,
I know. Everyone fucking loves the abs on Gemma.
it's not even
I
abs.
get it.
She doesn't even have abs. It's literally just midriffs, like literally the meme with the monkey and neuron activation.
Yes,
That's
yes.
literally me. Also, she's blonde.
She, she's.
I just.
But in any
But
case,
anyway.
right? You could just take quests from her while you're out and walking around, gathering items. You can also access your inventory, any pop-up camps that you set up like out on the map, so you don't have to return back to base. And then you can also cook for yourself too with the grill that they give you. Before, like,
Yeah.
you couldn't really make meals with it. You could just make raw meat, but now you can make like whole ass meals for yourself. And the meals don't last for one hunt; they're now time duration based. So you don't have to like keep
Hmm.
going back over and over again, right? You'll get like a 50-minute buff, and you can just do whatever you want for those 50 minutes.
Yep.
So yeah, all
And it.
around very good game, man. It just sucks that the optimization is so shit. Like and the story stuff is like kind of ass, to be honest, especially the multiplayer stuff. But even the story stuff's kind of it's okay. It's definitely
Yeah,
Monster Hunter
but
story stuff. There's some cute, charming moments here or there, but for the most part, the story's kind of whatever.
yeah. So far, it has been whatever. But I'm willing to put that aside because that for me that's not what takes away from the experience. It's like you said, it's the multiplayer and the optimization are like so bad that it literally detracts from the experience. Like for both of us, like it's enough to actually. Well, you said it yesterday. It's enough to not make it a 10 out of 10 experience. I remember that one.
Yes, maybe that's why I like her so much because she.
I still haven't found. Well, actually, no, I did, but I don't think.
Yeah,
But I don't think they've made a comparison.
yeah. And then everyone's favorite main squeeze right now in the Monster Hunter community is Gemma.
Hey, she's a hard worker. Okay, she works that forge like no one's business.
And for other gaming
I.
stuff, I'm gonna go through this real quick, right? Because I don't want this intro to be too long. But
Oh my God, I didn't even realize.
yeah, because you've
Sorry.
been kind of glazing this game. But I've done a lot of gaming outside of that. So Steam Next Fest was this past week, and originally we were gonna do a segment of it, but then all these big news came up, so I had to take it out. But still,
Oh yeah.
I always wanna highlight any cool games that we play.
Yes.
So for Steam Next Fest, I played about like 6 or 7 demos, but I'm just gonna highlight 3, mostly for the sake of time. But I did play a lot of cool games. So oh shit, hello, hi there.
How did that?
Hello. Yeah, so the first one that I played was called Ruffy and the Riverside, and what it is that it's pretty much like Super Mario 64. but like with 2D Paper Mario graphics. It's like a 3D platformer, collectathon platformer, where you have to, you know, go through the environments and you collect the stars. And the stars, of course, unlock new levels and stuff. But the really cool gimmick of this game is that you can take things in the environment and you can swap properties with them. So you're going to see here, like there's a waterfall there. And I think I'm going to scan the vines. And then from there, I swap it with the water. And it turns the waterfall into vines.
Ooh.
And I use that to get the star.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's all sorts of moments like that where you have to, you know, kind of figure out like, oh, okay, like how am I gonna get here, right? Like there's like these stone tablets in the way, but then there's like a piece of wood nearby. So you scan the piece of wood, and then you swap it with the tablets, and then the tablets turn into like breakable boxes, and you punch the boxes, and you can get through, right? And the game does a very good job at like rewarding you with that, like hiding stars behind stuff like that. There's also like some platforming section where like you have to get across like these barrels that are like in the middle of the ocean because you can't swim. Of course, you're going to drown. So then you have to platform your way over to a volcano that's like at the end of the ocean. And then you look to your right, and then there's like pillars there. I don't know if I can find it here. It's like towards the end. No, that's the mini game. Oh, right here. Real quick. There we go. Yeah, so here, right, I already transformed the ocean into pretty much a sea of lava, and you see like that barrel there is you know, it's wood. I'm trying to scan something. I don't know what the hell I was trying to do. And then I clicked like, oh, okay, that's what I have to do.
That's pretty cool.
So then I scanned that barrel. I put at the bottom ones, the bottom stone barrels, and then you turn to lava, and then it burns. So that way I can actually jump across. Yeah, I managed to get the star that way. So you know, there's constantly have to be thinking like that. Okay, what can I swap? What can I swap with what? And how can I like change the environment so I can like get these things to interact with each other? Oh yeah, you can lock onto multiple things too.
And swap multiple things at once. Cool.
Yeah. And then lava, and it's gonna burn. But you get the idea.
I like that. It's actually pretty cute.
Yeah, it's a really cute game. Very charming. Has nice music. I love the visuals of it because it looks like Paper Mario.
Yeah.
So there's such a cute like critters and animals running around everywhere that you can talk to. Like there's like a hub area that you can go and like talk to the citizens and stuff, and like they'll have like quests for you and they'll give you stars and stuff. And then the other game, now this one was really interesting. This one was unfortunately a very short demo. It was only about 10 minutes long, but this game was called there we go. So this is a game called Out of Sight, and it's actually a second-person horror puzzle game where you play as a blind little girl who's been kidnapped, and the only way she can see is through a teddy bear. So what you see right now is actually through the teddy bear's eyes. And
interesting.
So she picks up the teddy bear, and then you can start walking around first person. But then there are certain moments where you have to put the teddy bear down, like on a pink blanket, and then from there you control the girl. But you still see it from the teddy bear's point of view. That's why it's a second person, because you're seeing it through another character's eyes.
I see. That's actually pretty ingenious. It's kind of so it's kind of like the Resident Evil fixed camera angle, except you could take the camera with you and place it in certain spots.
Pretty much.
I like it. That's actually a really nice idea.
Seen anything for such a long time.
Damn, they kidnapped the blind girl? That sounds so fucked.
Well, I think she became blind. They did something to her and she made her blind. Because she says that she hasn't seen in a long time. So she used to see before, I guess.
Oh, so she's been there for a while.
I guess so. I'm not sure. There's something sinister is going on, of course. But you have to play the full game to understand. It's a super short demo. It's like 10 minutes long.
Oh, that's not long at all. I'd be interested in playing that.
And then the final one. Now, this one really impressed me, and I was kind of surprised because it's a roguelike game, and like when I hear the words indie game and like I hear the words indie game and roguelike together, like my mind's kind of glazed over, like, oh, okay, we get another one of these.
Like,
right?
oh god, another one.
Oh, geez, okay, great. Yeah, I'll have another that with side of indie Souls-like, right? Because we haven't had enough of those. But this one's really cool because what this one does is this one is Pokemon and roguelike. And so this is Ethermancer, and this is like I said, a Pokemon and roguelike. And it's a dungeon crawler where you capture monsters and get them to fight for you while you advance through the biome. And it's got a really cool combat system where like every turn you acquire like mana, which is up here, or ether as they like to call it, and each ether corresponds to a different element, so like fire, earth, water, and wind. and then you use that ether to like cast spells and stuff. But then there's like tons of really cool things that you can apply, right? So there's something, for example, like there's this little reindeer bunny thing can do something called Sidekick, which is a status buff where every time an ally monster attacks, he'll attack in tandem with them. And then as they level up, they get enhancements to their abilities. So like it could be something like, okay, like every time this bunny reindeer monster thing attacks with a Sidekick attack, it'll heal the entire party. So now you have to kind of think of like what order like you attack them in. And then later on, I got another monster where it was like, okay, if this monster attacks first, then he'll heal the entire party. If he's the second one to attack, then he'll buff everyone's attack instead. So again, you have to kind of like really think about that stuff. And then you get, of course, it's a roguelike, right? So you're gonna get randomized power-ups. And it can really lead to some really awesome sequences where like you're gonna proc like a million different effects. It's like, oh, you inflict burning damage, but now because it inflicts burning damage, this person will get sidekick, and because this person is sidekick, now the whole party gets buffed up, and because this whole party gets buffed up, now you get another sidekick attack, and then that sidekick comes in, and because you got two sidekick attacks in a row, now it does a guaranteed crit attack, and now because of a guaranteed crit attack, everyone gets another buff, right? So it's really cool sequences like that. And of course, in between, like you're doing the dungeon crawling sequence where you're just kind of going around, trying to navigate through the dungeon, meeting with NPCs and stuff. But this one really impressed me. Like, this is super cool. I really enjoyed it. And that was Ethermancer.
Seems like a fun game. I mean, I'm not much into those, so I'll probably watch you play. I'll watch you play that one. But the first two, I'd be more into.
Now, there were more games that I played, but this intro's gone on long enough, right? So I'm just gonna say,
it has long to go.
The Elden Ring Night Ring. I played the playtest.
Okay.
And it was very interesting. Whoops, switch. Come on. Why you're not showing? Oh, god damn it! There we go. Okay, I got my scenes mixed up. Okay, so
oh shit, camera. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so this is the latest FromSoft game that everyone was like, "Huh? What the fuck is this?" at the Game Awards. But it is a survival roguelike co-op game that takes place in the Elden Ring universe. It takes place like in a alternate dimension called, I forgot what, but essentially what it is that you go into the map, you get dropped in a random area, and then you try and pick up as much gear as you can, level up as much as you can, and then by the end of the day, you have to fight the boss. And as the day progresses, the ring starts to like, collapse more and more. So like if you played Fortnite, right, you're very familiar with the concept of that. So it's also kind of battle royale-ish, but this is it's really interesting game because like it kind of leaves a very bad first impression because it just feels like it feels like a watered down Elden Ring game where it's like, okay, like I'm not really sure like where this is going, but kind of like Ethermancer, right? Where like once you start getting a build and you start like coordinating with like friends and stuff on like what you can and what you can do together, it really starts to come together. It feels very satisfying, like when you finally have like that build that comes together and you just fucking annihilate the boss. And there's also like classes as well. So like this guy's playing the Wilder. That girl you just saw jumping by, that was the Duchess. That guy over there, the bird dude, that's the Guardian. So he's like the tank of the game. And so like you kind of have to like have a good party composition, but then you also have to like keep a build in mind, and you have to really be like efficient on like where you want to go, because certain areas will have like certain kinds of loot and it'll mark it for you, like what kinds of loot you have. So like this area will have like fire oriented loot, this area will have poison oriented loot, stuff like that. And another thing, this game is really fast. Like it's a very fast paced game. I don't know if you saw like the super sprint that was going on.
I don't know if that's your character, but
well, this is my recording. This is on YouTube. This is someone else's. I didn't get to record it because I was on PlayStation.
Yeah, and I did see how fast the character was moving. Very impressive gameplay.
So another interesting thing is, right, the resurrect mechanic in the game. It's not like most games where like you have to run up to them and hold a button. You actually have to hit them. So you have to hit your friend in order to resurrect them. And it's kind of cool because it opens up a lot of options for it. So like you can melee them, but you can also like sling spells at them, or like throw a firebomb at them, or hit them with your bow and arrow. Or in the Guardian's case, the Guardian's ultimate is like a giant dive bomb attack. And so like you can use the dive bomb to like get a free res on them, and they can keep holding the ultimate button to like to bring like an aura that like increases everyone's defense. That way your friend can have enough time to heal themselves up before they get knocked down again. So this is definitely like a much more fast-paced action streamline game. Like even with leveling up, like there's no like stat allocation. You just level up. Like it's all like fixed. Then it depends on your class, right? So certain classes will level up certain stats a little bit more. Like Duchess will level up her dexterity a little more versus the Guardian, who's more focused on like strength and endurance.
Okay.
So then by the end, right? So after every day ends, like you fight the boss, and then it starts a new day, and the ring of fire will like expand back out, and then you pretty much have to go again. You have to go to like all the places you haven't been to and try and get as much loot as you can. So then you fight the second boss, and then on the third day you fight what's called the Night Lord, which is like the mega boss. And for the playtest, it was Gladius, Beast of Night. And this is a really cool boss because he starts off as like a three-headed dog like Cerberus, but he can actually split into three. So you see like now he fused together, but before he was three separate dogs. So it can get really, really intense. And I actually did manage to beat this with a team of randos on the very last day, right? Because I got there the second day, but then my team fucking threw, because of course, it's always your fucking team's fault. Yeah, both the guys got KO'd at literally the same exact time, and then I went to go revive them, but then by the time I revived them, Gladius did like his 1 KO, like AoE bullshit attacks, and it just killed us all again. But then the second time around, on the final day, I was able to beat him with a good team. So all around, like, it's a really fun game, but this is definitely something that needs to be played with friends. And also, if you have not played Elden Ring, you're going to be like really confused because all the items and stuff are from Elden Ring. So like if you don't know like what does what, there's a bit of a learning curve. Whereas me, like I know what like most of the weapons do. I know what most of the spells are. So like I can be familiar, like, okay, this spell's good, this spell's not good, this weapon's good, this weapon's not good. I'm really interested in this game, right? Because before everyone was like kind of trepidatious, like I'm not really sure if I really want this. I know I want Elden Ring, but like personally, like I was always willing to give this a chance. And I think this will be really cool. And honestly, I would love to play it with you, dude, because like if it's co-op, right, that's something for us to do.
Oh, I'd be more than down to play this. I'll probably die a lot, but
Yeah, I mean, you're always gonna die a lot, but there is meta progression. So like there's stuff to help you out. You get like relics in between runs, and you could use those to give yourself permanent stat boosts. That way, next time around, it's not so difficult. Like it took me a few tries, but then I got some really good relics, and that got me some really, really good stat boosts. That's enough of that. How about we talk about some news?
Please, let's talk about some news and the tomfuckery going on in this industry.
The massive tomfuckery going on. First order of tomfuckery is over at WB, who we covered last episode concerning all their woes with Wonder Woman and the fact that the entire gaming department is absolutely on fire, and it seems that fire is going to continue burning as the WB has decided to close down 3 studios of theirs and also cancel the Wonder Woman game. The 3 studios in question that were closed were Monolith Productions, Player First, the developers of Multiverses, and WB San Diego. And this news was first reported by Jason Schreier over on Blue Sky, and it was later confirmed by WB on Kotaku. And this news comes shortly after it was reported that Wonder Woman was rebooted and got a new director after they were struggling to find a way to convert the Nemesis system into more of like a friendship system, and then they had to change it to more of a traditional action adventure game. And then Player First was also acquired in July. So they are only there for 8 months before they got the cord cut from underneath them.
That sounds so familiar.
Yes. And so this is obviously, like I said, very shocking news, particularly with Monolith Productions, because Monolith Productions is a very big studio with a very long 30-year legacy behind them. They've made a lot of great games. They were founded in 1994, so they were 30 years. They've been in the industry for freaking 30 years, and they were acquired by WB in 2004. And the great questions to their name is games like Blood, right, which is a really good build engine shooter made in 1987. He plays like an undead cowboy that's like get revenge on like a demon named Chernobog and stuff. But as you can see, like it's kind of doomish. But it's made on the build engine, which is the same engine as the Duke Nukem game. So it's not exactly like 100% a Doom clone, as many people like to say. It's its own thing. And then they also developed I can fucking load up. They also developed No One Lives Forever 1 and 2, Okay, cool.
Didn't want to hit refresh on that.
It just didn't. Okay, cool.
I guess the page just died. Oh well. Well, anyway, no one lives forever.
Yeah, No One Lives Forever 1 and 2, which is kind of like a spy. It's like a parody of like James Bond movie. Think Austin Powers, but Austin Powers is a hot girl instead. And it's a very comedic game. It doesn't really take itself seriously. Like in the second game, like you fight mimes in Paris, and like there's like a chase sequence where like you have to chase someone down on a tricycle, and you're like mowing down mines at the same time. So it was a very silly game, but it was kind of a well beloved game at the time it was released in 2002. Now the second one that released in 2002, the first one released in 2000, and this game is a quick caveat here. It's actually kind of like in IP hell. Like no one really knows who owns it. Dive wanted to make a remaster of it, but like they didn't know who the rights belonged to, and they kind of narrowed it down to WB and Activision, and none of them wanted to help. So like we never got a remaster from them, unfortunately. But
that's lame.
Other great games include the amazing. So Fear is also another one, which is the first-person horror shooter with the creepy girl that we all knew. And this is also another great game that also popularized bullet time along with Max Payne. And this game also has some of the best AI in any game ever. There still hasn't been a game really that's like quite done AI quite as good as this game. So, and this game came out like 2005, I think, 2004, I believe. And then, AI really hasn't, AI in gaming hasn't really advanced much lately. And then they also developed the Condemned games, which I don't know if you remember those.
I do remember the Condemned games.
Yeah, so it was like a first person. It was like Silence of the Lambs, but like first person, like you beat up hobos and stuff, but while trying to solve crimes. Also another horror game, very good game. They also made a second game, but the second game was kind of weird. Not as good as the first game, but the first game is really good game. Very atmospheric, just like the Fear games was, but a much more heavy emphasis on horror and melee combat. And then lastly, they made Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, that was a sequel.
Yeah, and so I only played the first one, Shadow of Mordor. I never played Shadow of War. Yeah. But Shadow of Mordor was still a pretty good game. Like it was a good Assassin's Creed-like game. And what really makes this game so awesome is the Nemesis system, which may I remind you is patented by WB, and therefore nobody can get access to. And now that Monolith is gone, that has pretty much been secured that no one will ever gain access to it. And the patent in question will expire in 2036. So we will not see seeing any games that use the Nemesis system.
At least it doesn't expire. At least it doesn't expire after 100 years like other patents.
Copyrights are different from patents.
Oh, it is. Oh, excuse me.
Copyright laws are for patents is for inventions. Copyright is for like intellectual properties and stuff.
Okay.
It's like artistic ideas. So with War for Mordor in particular, so it came out in 2017, and this kind of adds to the frustration of like WB and like really how shitty they are and how terrible like they have managed their gaming division and like what a blight they have been on the games industry at this point, and it's kind of like cemented that. Is that back in 2017? And that's saying
something.
They honestly deserve to be in the same breath of contempt as like Ubisoft and EA and Activision Blizzard. We should be hating them just as much because Shadow of War, the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, had microtransactions, and of course it pissed everyone off. But then afterwards, after that game came out, and it was a success, mind you, Monolith wanted to make something original. And they worked on a project that was called Codename Legacy. They worked on it for about 3 years. And then WB was like, oh, original. What the fuck is this? How dare you do original stuff? Creativity? We don't want that. No. You have to do an established IP. So they pretty much trashed that project. And according to Drayson Schreier, on an episode that he recorded with Kind of Funny Games on their cast about 5 days ago, he reported about how the leadership actually all left after Project Legacy was pretty much sabotaged, and from then on, like the remnants of Monolith had to scrap together whatever they could. So even before they were closed, right, they suffered a massive blow with like a loss of leadership. It's never good to lose your leaders and lose all that knowledge and all that experience that goes with them.
Yeah.
And then the leadership went on to form Cliffhanger Games, and they're now currently working on a Black Panther game for EA.
Oh boy.
And so we move over to Player First Games, who are the Multiverses devs, acquired in July of 2024. And now they have all been laid off after Multiverses cost Warner Brothers a whopping $100 billion after it was rushed out the door, after it was in beta, right, and still charging people for stuff. But then the devs, were suffering from success. They couldn't keep up with all the demand for content that was there because they were a very small studio at the time. And then the game was rushed out the door in March, and it was pretty much the same game, but like much worse, much shittier gameplay, and much more predatory monetization. Of course, everyone hated it. And then, of course, in a twist of fate, after Multiverses goes down, they decide to finally fix the game, at least the gameplay side of things, and then take away everyone's content, right? So anything that you haven't purchased, well, goodbye to that, right? You don't get access to it anymore. And then WB San Diego is definitely the smallest of the 3 studios that were closed. They were just a support studio that was formed in 2019. But nonetheless, it's sad to see them lose, their jobs over decisions that weren't even theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any comments on this? Because I've been blabbing a lot. I still have a little more to go.
Well, no, I know. Well, I mean, it's just honestly, it's again same old tired song and dance. Honest game developers that really at the mercy of their executive overlords for not wanting to make some money, they wanted to make all the money. And I guess I am quoting Stephanie Sterling when I say that. But it kind of sucks, man. It's like WB really is in the same vein as all the companies that you've listed. They deserve to be hated on. They deserve to be trashed on. And all they do is, wreck the industry. And they haven't really, they really didn't even make that many games. They weren't even they're not even that much of an impact until recently, because you really didn't hear about WB games until, other than Hogwarts Legacy, what would you say was the last game the Arkham series, right? No, never mind. I take everything back.
I mean, good games, because they did Suicide Squad. Now we know how that went.
Yeah, I know. But I was thinking,
game.
Yeah, but I was mistaken because technically, actually, no, not really, because technically speaking, the Arkham games were a product of Rocksteady. They weren't,
but they were owned by WB.
Yeah, I know, but still, like when you think of Arkham, you don't think WB games. You think Rocksteady, and I think they were still an independent studio before they got bought by Rocksteady. Before they got bought by WB. Is that correct, or they've always been owned by WB?
I don't know when Rocksteady was acquired. I think it was
because
I think they were acquired shortly after Arkham Asylum, though.
Yeah, I think so.
If not, then around the time Arkham Asylum came out.
Yeah, I would say so, because the game was very successful, so you want to buy that kind of success. But WB deserves to be shat on for what they're doing, and the worst part is these devs are looking to lose their jobs, and yeah, the company's losing money, but they're just gonna use it as a tax write-off and then probably do the same shit over and over again. The industry crash that we've been talking about is now happening in real time, and these companies are going to start, they're already in the process of laying people off, as we'll discuss in later segments. But they're just going to take their tax write-off and then probably just skip out of town and not even give a damn. So, but again, this will open up a lot of space for indie devs to come in and do their thing. So that there's some good in it, Like you said, these game devs are leaving to make their own games right now. You said Cliffhanger and Black Panther. I think we talked about it, but I think we only touched briefly on that subject in an earlier episode.
Yeah, because there's not much information on it.
Yeah. However, it does suck though, because I would have loved to have seen what they would have done with the Wonder Woman game.
Yeah, right. Because Wonder Woman's cool.
Yeah.
I would like to see.
Yeah, dude, Wonder Woman's. Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I would have also liked to see a good Superman game too, but again, I don't think they didn't have the time. I don't think they had the resources, and whoever was on the team, clearly, I don't know. It's just everything was going wrong. So they man, it's just sad. It's just sad to see, because these are good ideas. They have good IPs, and they just can't do anything with them.
Well, they can't do anything with them without slapping on some, bullshit live service stuff, right? Suicide Squad might have been a pretty cool idea, but they just had to be a live service game, right? Multiverses. Yeah. Multiverse is a fucking sick idea. It's Smash Bros with the WB catalog of characters, which has a massive,
massive,
right?
It's massive.
You have DC heroes, you have Mortal Kombat,
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Jason Voorhees, I think they have rights to him now
Oh yeah,
because he is in the game as well.
Looney Tunes, all of them.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. So like you have all these IPs that you can make use of and have them, duke it out in a fun platform game that's free to play and that can, give some competition to Super Smash Brothers, or at least, a viable alternative. But no, they had to ruin it by rushing it out the door, and then the devs fucked it up with, there's the shitty gameplay changes, so they just couldn't seem to figure out in time on how to make it play well.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Honestly, I don't want this kind of failure to happen, but when you have conglomerates like WB doing this kind of shit to the industry, I feel like they have to fall. Because they will do more harm than good if they just keep existing in this space. As bad as that sounds. Like, yeah. They just can't. They need to stay away from making games.
Well, we'll have to see, because David Zaslav was all like, "Oh, we're gonna double down on these live service games are the future of our strategy," and blah, 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 right? But
now that future is gone, because all these studios that you've contracted to make your live service games are being closed. So what? Are you gonna get Dave from accounting to make your live service future? Yeah, I don't think they're that dumb.
Well,
they will, however.
They will, however, what?
Oh no, they're just gonna make Dave from accounting the scapegoat for not making live service games. Yeah, it's all this guy's fault. That's why we're losing. That's why we're losing bajillion dollars on games that no one wants. It's not that no one wants it; it's just that no one can make it, and it's Dave's fault.
It's pretty wild when you think that they have lost $400 million in like 4 or 5 years. Wonder Woman cost $100 million, and it was only in development for I think 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Multiverses, another $100 million, and then Suicide Squad, $200 million.
200 million. 200.
Yeah, they have lost a fuckload of money. They pissed off all their leadership from one of their best studios. So they lost a shitload of talent. It's absolutely terrible. But in the aftermath of all this, we have OG, Good Old Games, announcing that they're going to be pushing Fear up ahead for their preservation program, which is something that we talked about.
Yep.
I remember here a few episodes back. It's their initiatives to try and sell a bunch of games that aren't really available anywhere because they're too old or an IP hell or what have you. In particular, Fear is going to be up, specifically the Platinum version of the game, which comes with both expansions, and it's only $10 now. So this is a really good game. I highly recommend everyone listen to this. Go play Fear. It has really spooky atmosphere. It's great combat. The guns feel fucking awesome to shoot. The bullet times is also really well implemented. Really smart AI, like I said. And there's 2 expansions, right? So you're gonna have a lot of game here. And also, of course, as we spoke about the Nemesis system, we have the internet implementing the fact that the Nemesis system is going to be pretty much locked in patent jail until 2036. Now, for those of you who don't remember, the Nemesis system is essentially a system where a bunch of randomly generated NPCs are put in a hierarchy, and that hierarchy can change depending on players' actions. So in the context of Shadow of Mordor, right, you can, if you kill a chief, then one of his underlings becomes up, and then he might swear vengeance against you. Or maybe 2 chiefs are rivaling with each other, and they're bickering each other, and then you choose to ally yourself with one chief, or then the other chief might help you out in the future. And this is all procedurally generated. It's all random. It's not scripted. And it can lead to a lot of really cool, interesting moments. And apparently, with Project Legacy, the game that Monolith was working on, that was based on a new IP, they were going to implement the Nemesis system in some way, because pretty much the whole game was going to be the Nemesis system. That's going to be Nemesis system, the game. And now, because WB, in all their stupid fuckery, decided, oh, how dare you? We only do adaptions here, right? We only do established IPs. They threw that all out the window. But yeah, as you can see, everyone is really fucking pissed, right? You got people saying, WB patents the Nemesis system for Shadow of Mordor in 2021. Next other company can use a similar system, announces Wonder Woman the same year. No info for 4 years. Cancels the game by shutting down the studio making. Then biggest hit of Monolith Productions getting the access that we will never see Nemesis system ever again in any game due to the patent. And then after attempting, and then here we have Bear McCreary, who's actually the composer for the God of War games. Was he the composer? Yes, I think he was composer. He was a composer for Last of Us, I believe, the first one. But after,
Oh, okay.
I think, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty confident God of War. So after making two incredible Middle-earth games and developing an entirely unique nemesis system for them, the entire studio shuttered simply because of factors and failures outside their control. What a tragic waste. I hope these talented folks find a new home soon. And there, Mr. McCreary, you and I both agree. Hopefully, these people find a home somewhere that's safe from all these big corporate fuckery.
Indeed. Fuck you, corporate fuckery. I hope the crash happens quicker, just so that you guys can stop showing up in the news or just stop making games. Like, go to an island or something and enjoy retirement. Leave us alone. Stop killing our games, please.
All right, so we have some more corporate fucker, or some corporate weirdness. If
Yes,
Marvel
corporate
Rivals.
weirdness, but actually not totally unexpected news, believe it or not.
Yeah, so tell us about it. Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, so Marvel Rivals and NetEase. So Marvel Rivals director and the entire Seattle design team that worked on the game was laid off, all in one fell swoop. And it's kind of weird because I thought Jesse, I don't know if I was mistaken, but Marvel Rivals is a resounding success, correct?
Yeah, it made like 200 million.
Yeah,
Like
indeed.
its launch month.
So yeah, in the launch month, and then lo and behold, they got laid off. So this man, I can't remember the February, was it February 19th? Or this happened a couple weeks ago, but over on LinkedIn, Thaddeus Sasser was a one of the game directors and the head of the Seattle team. Shared a post on LinkedIn that said, "My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise on Marvel Rivals for NetEase Games, and we were just laid off." All six of Marvel Rivals American-based devs were reportedly let go, two of whom were level designers. So these layoffs, of course, were a surprise considering how successful and popular the game launched with, and is still going strong, by the way. This game has been very, very popular. Like the first 72 hours to market, Marvel Rivals hit 10 million players worldwide, and then the number doubled the following week to 20 million players. Like, as me and Jesse talked about, you can get into a match in literally 2 seconds, and we timed it. The average is 2 seconds
Sometimes it's
per
instant.
game.
You just click it.
No, dude, sometimes it is instant. Like
If you
I
click
can't
it
even,
before your finger leaves the button, it's already knocked
yeah,
out.
yeah. Yeah, so NetEase did issue a statement specifically to IGN, but confirming the layoffs, but they didn't specify how many were cut. We recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals' development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication to those affected, and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully with recognitions for their individual contributions. So this is kind of weird, you know, because again, you don't lay off people when you have a successful game. In fact, you want to hire more, or keep or pay, or give the people that were working on it a raise so that they can continue to be putting out that good quality. But it seems they're taking the opposite approach. And especially for a level design team, you would think that when you make new DLC or new updates, you want them to make more maps for those updates, especially with their model that they seem to be pushing out, like new content every half season, essentially. But they did continue to say that they wanted to reassure their fan base that the core development team for Marvel Rivals, which continues to be led by the lead producer Wei Kong Wu and game creative director Guangyang Chen in Guangzhou, China, remains fully committed to delivering an exceptional experience. Now, there was a thing going around that apparently the Seattle-based team also not only did level design, but they also implemented core systems into Marvel Rivals and helped develop it. And people think, oh well, they probably did finish with the system, but they didn't need them to do system upkeep, so they just let them go. Which, if true, is kind of fucked. But business wise, that does kind of make sense. I just wish they would have just hired them for the upkeep instead of, just other people. But it's not the only thing that's concerning. So, according to Yahoo Finance, this it seems that they're not just slashing jobs at Seattle, but in all areas of their business. So the article from Yahoo Finance, which quotes Bloomberg, says after years of expanding overseas, video game billionaire William Ding is hitting the brakes and is starting to cut hundreds of jobs, close or idle game studios, and pull back international investments as he refocuses on a small portfolio of titles. According to him, he's pulling back from everywhere around the world, but it is concerning that he is pulling out, I think, all of his American holdings. Is that correct?
Well, it's just Seattle studio so far that I know
Yeah,
of. Like they're the ones that are
yeah,
getting closed. And a lot of speculation is that because of the tariffs that are going to be hitting China soon, they people speculate that that's probably the main reason why.
yeah, indeed, yeah, yeah. That seems to be the consensus. I'm not really sure about that. I mean, well, actually, no, it does kind of make sense because I don't really like to think gaming is that important to be hit with tariffs, but it has become a major entertainment for pop culture. Like gaming you didn't used to be mainstream, and now it more or less is. But however, there was another article on GamesBeat that said that said game industry insiders say that NetEase has been directed to divest its overseas investment holdings and well, I mean, it's just more of the same, really. Yeah, the same sources say that the company is losing its will to make games using overseas staff. Apparently, U.S. developers cost a lot of money, which kind of makes sense because they don't really have unions in China. They don't get paid well. Here in the U.S., we have workers' rights, unions, dental, that kind of shit, and that
Dental.
stuff can
Oh,
get
that's
pretty.
that's a stretch there, buddy. I don't know about that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We have ophthalmology, but it seems to be a large push to try and I guess just squeeze out and have a good big profit for the end of the quarter, which is disappointing because you know this is another example of being punished for being successful, which we've seen with other games and other studios. Of course, the most famous example being Hi-Fi Rush that we talk about literally every single episode.
Yep. You're gonna put a high
Yeah.
price rush counter. Ding! Right. High price
Yeah,
rush
High
mentioned.
Rush. Yeah, High Rush mentioned. There you go. You guys can have your shot of whiskey now. Yeah, but it's very very sad, dude. Specifically for the Seattle team, because level design is not easy, not easy at all. You gotta. There's a lot you have to account for, and then that's just it. And it's funny too because I think they announced they got laid off on the same day that they unveiled like the season trailer, the season premiere.
Yes.
Yeah, which was kind of fucked. Yeah, I think it was the season. It was like the second half of season one where they
Yeah.
unveiled the
The thing in
the
Human
thing,
Torch.
the Human Torch, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is so great!" And then they laid off this team. But do you have anything you want to say about NetEase?
Well, there's some other things that I saw that. So, are you familiar with Second Wind? That remember Yahtzee left. What was it? He left that publication he used to work for, and he left with like all these other people.
No, actually, I don't.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank on that.
I forgot what they worked for or publication they worked for. But they started a channel called Second Wind, and in that channel there's a series called Unpacked, which is pretty much a video series by Second Wind's editor, main editor Nick, and in it he pointed out a report that said that Ding, the CEO of Eddie, was apparently becoming only interested in games that were like gonna have Marvel Rivals levels of success, and that's part of the reason why like he's might be cutting on a lot of jobs so that way he can save some money and then also squeeze out as much blood from the stone as he can from the games that he thinks will
Oh,
make like hundreds of millions of dollars, while also canceling games he doesn't feel will make hundreds of millions of dollars.
wow, that's really interesting. But it's weird because if you want
Escapist,
me,
there we go. Freaking Escapist. Damn it.
The Escapist.
Yeah, I remember.
That. All right, that sounds.
Yeah, we,
okay.
we covered this story, yes.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Okay, that does sound familiar. Yeah, and also remember that this company is under investigation for alleged fraud as well. So
That's right. I forgot about that.
people forget that. Yeah, they're allegedly defrauding investors. Was it investors that they were defrauding?
Yeah. I think,
Yeah, or what,
I
like,
think
to the tune
so.
of like I think like $200 million, if I remember the story correctly. If not, we'll have to look back into our other episode. But considering that they have a case of fraud that they're currently alleged fraud that they're currently dealing with, this kind of makes them look pretty sketchy, you know. Because again, you don't cut off your legs or shoot
It's
yourself
a
in the foot when
laundering
you
scheme,
succeed.
money laundering.
Oh, money laundering. Oh, excuse me. Not fraud.
Yeah.
Alleged money laundering.
I mean, that's fraud's cousin right there, pretty much.
That is, yeah, It's as close to fraud as you can get without being known as fraud.
It's fraud
So-
with extra steps.
It's literally fraud with extra steps. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see where this game goes. I mean, he wants other games to have Marvel level success, but if right now this is your only game and you're cutting back for profit, or you're cutting back so that you can get ready to make an investment into something else, because you need to have more games that are Marvel like if you want to reach that level of success. Because no matter how small your portfolio might be, one game is that's not going to cut it for a small portfolio. You're going to need like what, two or three? How much would you say would be a small portfolio of Marvel Rivals level success?
I mean, you're lucky just to get one.
Yeah,
You'll get one, maybe two tops.
Yeah, and I'm sure this guy wants. Well, considering he's probably greedy, I would say he wants like three IPs.
Well, he wants all of them, right? That's what they think. They want all of them to be that level of success.
Yeah, no, actually, you're right. That greed will eat him alive. Yeah. Anything else you want to add for Marvel Rivals and their laying off despite success?
It's just concerning because NetEase also invests in a lot of other companies. Like remember Rebel Wolves, the studio formed by former CD Projekt Red developers. They have a significant amount of funding being received from NetEase, but they came up and said like, no, they're just a minority holder. It's okay. We still have money. They haven't pulled out from us. But then you have Quantic Dreams, who are the Detroit Become Human people, the David Cage games. Now they also developed Beyond Two Souls with Ellen Page, back when Elliot Page was still Ellen Page.
Ellen, yes,
Now
and William Dafoe.
Yeah, now they go by Elliot. Apparently they're working on that Star Wars game, which is now God knows how long ago. But they were like, no, it's okay. Like we're not losing funding and stuff. So, but then there are other games that are. I mean, I have a list of it, but they invest a lot in a lot of games around the world. So it's a little concerning to see that they're pulling investments from what could be the precious lifelines for many of these projects.
Indeed.
But speaking of lifelines being pulled, Dauntless, the free-to-play Monster Hunter style game that was released in 2019 after being in early access for some time, is now officially being shut down as of May 29th, as was confirmed in a very, very brief statement by the Dauntless X. I'm sorry, Twitter. We're not gonna call it X around here. Dauntless Twitter account, where they say important update: Dauntless is shutting down on May 29, 2025. Dauntless will receive no additional content or updates. Dauntless no longer be able to play on and after May 29th, 2025, 11:45 p.m. So this is more sad stories, man, because this is another game like we really liked. We remember we played it back in 2019 when it first came out.
Yeah,
like, we played it a little bit before then.
Yeah, well, this one you actually turned me on to, because I'd never played a Monster Hunter game before, and you told me that this was essentially Monster Hunter Lite.
Yeah, it's baby's first Monster Hunter.
Yeah, and this was my first Monster Hunter game technically,
and it was fun. I really liked it. We both really liked it.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. I got to make my This was when Game of Thrones was still peak, but my I forgot the wildling's name.
Tormund.
They got what?
Tormund.
Tormund, that's what it is. Man,
Yes, you
I
beat
can't
Tormund,
believe
and
how.
you had the axe. You really like
Yes, I had
axes.
the axe. Dude, I like the axe. I love the way that it played. It was hard hitting. It broke a lot of monster parts, and I had the skill where I could throw it. And what I would do is I would throw it at the monster's head. It would bounce off, do damage. I would catch it because you can actually catch it on the rebound, and then I would go
But then
in
if you
for
miss,
like
you were fucked. So I remember you saying "fuck."
yes, yeah. And if I
You
missed,
have to run and catch it.
yeah,
Oh, monster.
yep. The monster, the axe does not come back when you throw it. It is not like Thor's hammer, or like you're not attached to it with a rope. If you miss, you will pay dearly for it. But bro, it was so satisfying to land the hit. Oh my god, so satisfying.
Yeah, so this
So
shutdown
good.
comes 2 months after the controversial Awakening update, which pretty much was a reboot of the game, and it wiped out pretty much almost everyone's entire progress. Most of the weapons in the game were removed from the game. The cells, which were like the perks, like the skills, like in Monster Hunter, like when you touch a weapon, like it just skills like increased attack or increase like jump damage, or like you drink potions faster or whatever. Well, the Dauntless equivalent of that is cells, and apparently like those are all pretty much significantly nerfed. You can only get it like a +1 bonus for them. And then they also added loot boxes, right? Like we're back in 2016 all over again. And then they also added a FOMO cash shop. So like there's like time limited cash shop stuff. And well, it was pretty much universally hated because everyone fucking hated this. And everyone was like, oh, this is going to be the death of the game. But it turns out that, Phoenix Labs, the studio behind Dauntless, had been suffering for a very long time. They went independent in 2023 before they got bought by a blockchain company
Oh my god.
called Forte Labs. And since then, they were hit with numerous layoffs, where they got hit with a layoff in 2023, where 9% of their staff was laid off, and another 30 people were laid off in 2024, before finally back in 2025, January of this year, reportedly a majority of the staff was laid off, as was confirmed by Phoenix Labs in a statement on LinkedIn. And they said they were going to share
Not good.
details for their games, which is Dauntless and Fae Farm, the game that was being developed. Also led to the cancellation of another game called Everhaven that they were working on. It was supposed to be an open world sandbox game that was going to go into early access last September, I believe, and it was going to be showed off in the PC Game Show. It was kind of canceled at the last minute.
Yeah.
Man, this is another one that hurts, man. Just like Monolith hurts, right? Because all those games I listed on Monolith are games that except No One Lives Forever. But all those games I played, like I loved all those games I listed and played. And Dauntless, right? Dauntless was a really good game. And
It was considering it was a free to play Monster Hunter Lite. I had a really good time playing with you.
Yeah, and it
Have good
provided a good alternative to Monster Hunter, right? If you're waiting in between releases of Monster Hunter, it would be a good game to play, like in between. Like maybe you ran out of stuff to do in one Monster Hunter game, like a Capcom Monster Hunter game, and you're like, oh, I want to play another Monster Hunter game, so you go and play Dauntless. And Dauntless was a really cool game. It was able to be its own thing, right? It definitely followed the Monster Hunter, Capcom Monster Hunter formula, but it was still like able to do its own thing. They had its own unique approach to weapons, had its own unique approach to like armor and stuff. So it's just a shame to see this go.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Why do you gotta do this, guys? Stop it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a blockchain company, so I can't be surprised by this.
Oh, there's no way we can implement fraud into this. Just shut the game off.
Oh, we can't make infinite fake money off this. Let's just.
We can't make infinite fake money. No NFTs? Sorry, gotta go. But Dauntless, you will be missed. You were responsible for getting me into the Monster Hunter genre. I don't even know what you'd call that genre. Whatever. And I appreciate you for what you did. And to the devs that made it, I hope you get I hope you find good work.
All right. So, what do we have next?
What is next? I forget.
We have our friends of the podcast.
Oh yeah, of course. At least good. A fuck up that can actually give us a laugh.
This was just weird. This was like, really? You're mad about this? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But it's funny that's
yeah, I
happening to
guess.
Ubisoft because it's just, it's always
Yeah.
Ubisoft. Even if it's like,
Yeah.
you're really mad over this, but it's Ubisoft, so we're going to laugh anyways.
Yeah, it really is. But in any case, let's start with the first story from The Gamer. So apparently, Japanese officials are taking action because Assassin's Creed Shadows lets you destroy shrines. So, Assassin's Creed Shadows, as you know, has been under they've been consistently hated ever since the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows came out.
The biggest PR shitstorm ever, dude.
The biggest PR shitstorm ever, like to the point where if Ubisoft so much as breathes, everyone is already shitting down their throat. And but apparently, as officials from the Itate Hyozo Shrine in the Hyogo Prefecture have revealed that they're taking appropriate action over the shrine's inclusion in Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, according to a statement that they made, they were not contacted by Ubisoft regarding the inclusion of the shrine in Shadows. What the shrine is, I have no idea, but there is an post that
It,
shows it.
mhm.
Oh, sorry, yeah. It was a user called Shoei Kondo. I don't know if they are I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're associated with the organization, but you know, uh, it just shows them there. Apparently, you can like destroy the stuff in it,
I
right?
think it's just a generic shrine. That's not a
Yeah.
particular
Oh,
one.
okay.
And it's just they're just showing off like the destruction elements of the game. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So it shows it depicts Yasuke entering the religious site and destroying various parts of the room, including the altar. Now, it's kind of and you're right. This is something weird, and I think this is just kind of like this is just fake outrage, and this is just one guy on Twitter taking advantage of the hate that Ubisoft already is garnering.
Well, it got the attention of the shrine, the officials from a freaking shrine.
Yeah, I know, but
But
it doesn't
even then, it's like, really,
but they don't
this is
even.
what you're mad about?
Yeah, but well, I guess that's all they have, bro. Like the shrine is their life,
But
and
it's
you know
just a
what?
generic
Considering,
shrine. It's not even like a particular one.
look, man, I don't know anything about Japanese culture, so I can't attest to it. But clearly, the shrine has important to it,
But
and
is this the shrine in question, or is this? I think it's just a generic shrine. Like it's just.
I think it's a generic shrine, but maybe the way it looks. Oh shit! Now I got gas.
I
Excuse me. Yeah.
mean, the gas
So it
counter
says here
too. Ding! Like every
the
time,
gas
one of
counter.
us gets gas. So I had one earlier.
But yeah. So I think it's kind of I think it's just a like a fake outrage kind of situation where people are just looking for another excuse to be like, oh my god, Ubisoft has done it again and pissed off the Japanese people
Yeah, and because it's
and
Ubisoft,
whatever.
it's an easy target.
It is an easy target, low hanging fruit. However, there is one issue that is hilarious. So yes, you have the fake outrage, but apparently Assassin's Creed Shadows, the full game, has been leaked a month before release, and Ubisoft is of course trying to find the videos of the early gameplay and take it down by saying any footage shared online does not represent the final quality of the game.
Okay, yeah, month for
And
release,
that
but final quality.
and like no, this is not the release final project. This is not the final product. It hasn't even gotten the day one 100 gig patch. So don't. This is not it.
This has big Nintendo Switch. It's not official energy. When Nintendo Switch 2 leaks were happening,
Yeah, it's not official. It's like so.
it's real. It's not official.
It's not official. It's like oh okay. But so in typical according to the article, Assassin's Creed Shadows has slipped through the cracks of physical and digital retail, and has seen a release a month ahead of schedule. Now I don't know about so I know that the game is due to launch on the 20th, but people are already posting photographs of boxed copies, while others said that they managed to lift the code from the crevices of the PlayStation Store. Now, the physical copies make sense because if you think about it, this game has been delayed. They probably had units already shipped out to these warehouses where people, so that where they've had the product sitting there, correct? And then of course at the last minute they decide, no, we're gonna delay the release, and they've done it twice already. So you have these people in the warehouses that are holding on to this shit, like, bro, you know what? Fuck it, and just, they sell the game because it costs money to keep that in the warehouse, right?
Yeah,
Like these retailers.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Yeah, so at some point these retailers are like, bro, fuck this, like I'm losing money on this deal, and they just like, here, like, give me a couple bucks and be on your way.
I'm losing money in this deal.
You're losing money on this deal. That's exactly what.
$1 for tomatoes.
$1 per tomato, worth every penny, which is not what they're saying probably about this game. But in any case, what really impressed me though was that they managed to lift the actual code from the PlayStation Store, and I'm thinking like, damn, how do these people do that? Because there's some level of security with on online retailers like the PlayStation Store, Steam, Xbox Live or whatever. But damn, like how bad? I don't even know if it's on the PlayStation Store's fault, but somebody somewhere fucked up, and I'm inclined to blame Ubisoft for that security fuck up. But anyway, the videos of the game have been popping up on YouTube. No sooner seen than Ubisoft's lawyers. So there's in a statement from Ubisoft. It says, "We are aware that players have accessed Assassin's Creed Shadows ahead of its official release. The development team is still working on patches to prepare the experience for launch, and any footage shared online does not represent the final quality of the game." Exactly. They didn't get the 150 gig patch, the day one patch, so it's not real.
It's not
Leaks
official.
are unfortunate. Yeah, not official. Not official. Leaks are unfortunate and can diminish excitement for players. Okay. We kindly ask you not to spoil the experience for others. Thank you for our community for always taking the steps to protect people from spoilers. Stay in the shadows, avoid the spoilers, and keep an eye on our channel for more official surprises in the coming weeks. Now, here's the part that's funny. This game leaked a month ahead, and no one gave a shit.
Yeah, excitement is
Like,
exactly what I would say of how to describe this game.
Yeah, I think I saw, out of all the YouTubers I watched, only one dude covered it. And and he was just like, yeah, it got leaked. But what's funny is no one's covering it, and then everyone started to cover how it was not being covered. which was just like salt on the wound for Ubisoft, and it was hilarious. But yeah, so Ubisoft is just fucking up again. Some for whatever reasons, like the shrine, but this here, this is a legit boo boo on their part. The L's are stacking up, and yeah,
This is.
I don't know how this.
Has there been like a game in recent memory with like a bigger or equal PR shitstorm nightmare than Assassin's Creed Shadows?
No, I don't think so.
Like since like day one, like there's like controversy every fucking time.
Any time that this game shows anything or shows a trailer or shows a concept art or something like a still or does an interview with the people who made the game, it's always the same shit. It's like, oh my god, this game sucks. This developer sucks. Look at this crap. And half of it is whatever, but the other half is like, yeah, it's legit. It's like, wow, I can't believe that they're making all these decisions, and they're so not aware of what's happening.
Because like from day one, man, like the trailer came out, and all of a sudden everyone was a fucking Japanese history expert, even though this is a series about assassins and Templars fighting for alien technology, and Adam and Eve were aliens from like an ancient civilization. So like everyone's getting mad about like these religion. Oh, it's so disrespectful to religion. Like what the fuck? It's of course it is. It's literally Christian Adam and Eve being aliens, and they have the eat the apple that Eve ate. It's a fucking alien artifact that you fight the Pope over in number 2 in Assassin's Creed 2 for.
Hey man, those were good games. So put some respect. Put some
They
respect
are good
on that
games,
shit.
and like that's the difference, right? Like no, everyone wasn't pissed at Assassin's Creed. We also have like this culture war nonsense too, but I think it's more so just people are just mad at Ubisoft, and like we're in that point where like everyone hates Ubisoft, and no matter what Ubisoft does, it'll never be good enough because we just hate them so much.
Yeah, but to be fair, let's take all that aside. Do you really think that they would have made a game worthy of Assassin's Creed set in Japan?
Modern day Ubisoft, no. Maybe like back in the day when we all fucking
Oh,
asked them.
Back in the day, yeah, sure, but now
I would say 4 Assassin's Creed 4 back. Like Assassin's Creed 4 was the last good Ubisoft game.
Agreed.
If Blacklist came out
facts.
afterwards, and I would say Blacklist, but like Assassin's Creed specifically, the last good one was 4, and after that it's been kind of a mixed bag. Like some of them were like
Yeah.
okay, and some of them were just shit, and then like everyone got back on board with Origins because they turned it into Witcher pretty much. So like I guess if you played Origins, like okay, like that was kind of a redemption arc, but then they went like way overboard with it. Like all their games became open world RPG games with the same fucking mechanics.
Dude, but even with Origins, they took away the one-shot assassination. Like you literally would use the hidden blade on someone, and it wouldn't even kill them. It would just take
it was,
like
it's an RPG at that point.
that's lame.
Yeah, I know it's lame. And that's part of the reason why I didn't really like. I figured it was cool, but like yeah, it's kind of cool like that. They're trying to reinvent the wheel here because we had a lot of Assassin's Creed up to that point. We had like 9 or 10 games. And, they're very similar, right? They're good games, but they're very similar. So, like, to mix things up, we're gonna turn to RPG. Okay, fine, turn it to an RPG. But at least for me, like that's not what I play Assassin's Creed for. So, like, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, for sure. I will say the one game out of all of the post Black Flag Assassin's Creed that I actually played in, what's it called? Because I've played all the way up to Brotherhood. I haven't played Revelations. I should. It's actually on sale now. I'll probably pick it up. I didn't play 3, but I played Unity, and considering I got that game for free, that wasn't that bad.
That game was a buggy nightmare though when it came out. That's the French one. Yeah, this one was like a buggy ass nightmare.
Yeah, I remember it was a buggy mess, but I remember they gave the game away because remember when the Notre Dame fires happened, and Ubisoft actually used the scans of the cathedral to help with rebuilding, as part of a promotional effort to gather donations for the the charity that was going to rebuild Notre Dame. They actually gave away that game for free for like a limited time through Uplay. But it was very, considering that I got the game for free, that was not a bad Assassin's Creed game. And there was actually potential with the multiplayer aspect of it that you can do missions. And I think that was missed potential I would say.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it because I didn't really. I played a little bit of it, and I thought, this is okay. It felt kind of stripped down compared to like 4 and 2. I think that was like my big problem with like modern Assassin's Creed games. Like they started taking stuff away. Like there's less weapons, there's less tools, there's less mechanics. They started streamlining everything.
Well, also the claim to fame for that game in particular was the parkour system. So they actually they added in the ability to choose whether you want to free run down or free run up. So it was really strange at first, but once I got the hang of it, it actually made a lot of sense. So like if you were running or you were chasing somebody and you wanted to stay on the rooftops or you wanted to climb up or down, you would just hold different buttons depending on which direction that you wanted to go.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember that. Sort of.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. This was like a 10-year-old game, so.
Oh yeah, no, this is old.
And I didn't even play it that much.
Yeah, but it was nice to discuss the game itself on its own merits instead of, the shit show that we're discussing it now.
Yeah.
And anything else you'd like to go over as far as Ubisoft?
Nah. I think that just about covers it.
Yeah, I think we're done. sorry, couldn't think of a good segue. She
And
just
what else is done is this deal between Amazon and longtime James Bond producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. So it's official now. Amazon now has creative control over the James Bond franchise, and this comes after a tumultuous negotiation period between Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. And it seems like about a month later and $1 billion later, now Amazon can do pretty much whatever they want with James Bond, including, pick the actor and write the scripts and such. Whereas before, all this stuff was being controlled by Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. Now, Barbara Broccoli in particular is interesting because, like, the main point of contention was with her and her distrust of Amazon, where she was quoted to have a mistrust of their algorithmic approach to content creation and content production. She really wanted to push for these movies to be theatrical experiences, whereas Amazon was like, maybe we'll put it like on, Prime Video or something. We'll make like a series, maybe make like a freaking cinematic universe or whatever. And she was very much against that. She's very old school, right? She's very much about having a gut instinct and take risks with it. She took a risk on Daniel Craig, right? And that turned out to be a huge payoff because Daniel Craig at the time was pretty much unknown. Like, no one really knew who Daniel Craig was. There's a lot of doubt about whether he could be a good James Bond. And today, now he's considered to be one of the best James Bonds, some people's favorite James Bond. He's my second favorite James Bond, behind Sean Connery personally. I don't know about you, but I do really like Daniel Craig as James Bond. What were you going to say?
No. For me, it's Sean, Pierce Brosnan, and then Roger Moore.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not like Roger Moore. I did not like Roger Moore. I didn't like his movies. I didn't like him. Not at all. I liked The Man with the Golden Gun. That movie was good. But the other ones?
Yeah.
No. They were just too goofy.
The Spy Who Loved Me was pretty good.
I don't think I saw that one. I saw some other ones.
So that one, I would say that one is like the least goofy. So it's Roger Moore if he played a serious Bond like Sean. And I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, like for some reason I don't know, but you're right though. His other Bond films were like on the goofier side, but that one was a lot more like that was him playing it straight. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I recommend it. You'll like that one.
Okay,
it'll change your. I think it'll elevate, not change, but elevate your opinion on Roger Moore.
Okay, I'll have to give it a shot. But also during the negotiations, it was reported that Broccoli called the Amazon fucking idiots, which is quite a raw thing to say. But she said that, of course, only to friends. But I mean, she's not wrong, right? Like
no, she's not wrong in the slightest.
When it comes to these tech companies, right? The big concern with them taking control of James Bond is, okay, is this just going to be a content mill slop where they're just going to pump shotgun? They're going to take a Star Wars approach where they just shotgun out all this content with like no real thoughts or plan or artistic integrity. Just throw it out there, right? Throw it out there. Someone will watch it. Someone will buy it, and then we can just merchandise it later. You have any thoughts on this? I know you like James Bond just like me, right? You're a fan. We're both fans.
Well, I mean, okay, so first off, yes, we are huge James Bond fans. I am a very big James Bond fan. In fact, there's a poster of all the different James Bond posters that have come out. It's kind of outdated though. The most recent one, the poster was. You've seen it, yeah. You've seen it. The most recent one was Quantum of Solace, which, ironically enough, was that was a movie.
Yeah, that was a movie.
But it's okay. Skyfall came out and just blew me away, and I was like, okay, I'm back on board. And then Spectre came out, like, oh my god. But here's the thing. So Barbara Broccoli, her father, Albert R. Broccoli, he actually, I don't know if you know the history of it, but they took a chance on this franchise with Ian Fleming to the point where he put all of his money into making the first James Bond, Dr. No. And he even named the company Eon Productions, which stands for Everything or Nothing, because he literally bet everything on this film franchise.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, actually, there's a really good James Bond documentary that spells it out, and I believe Barbara Broccoli is in it.
You see that documentary?
But yeah, it's a
What's it called?
documentary. Actually, I can't remember, bro. We'll have to look it up later. But I remember watching it, and it has
Watch that.
I don't know. Yeah, it actually has Roger Moore, George Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan in it, and they talk about their experiences. And I
Is it called
think
Everything or Nothing?
I believe so. I think so.
There's one called
But it's
Everything or Nothing, and then there's Becoming Bond.
I think it's everything or nothing because it talks about the studio itself and the history behind it.
Hmm.
But in any really good documentary, really good. You'll like it. As a Bond fan, you will love it. But they bet everything on this film franchise, and it turned out to be a gold mine. Wow. Well, I mean, history. Hindsight's 2020. But at the time, no one knew what the hell they were doing with this. So this series is near and dear to the Broccoli family's heart because it really is it's their baby, like through and through. And of course, they come from an old school way of thinking when it comes to movie making. So to see a big juggernaut like Amazon, who really is only interested in making money with no
They just
with
they
no
just
one
want people to get into the ecosystem. That's it.
exactly with no interest in the integrity of the IP, which wow, that sounds a hell of a lot like a story we're about to cover. But they have no integrity into the IPs that they're making. Of course, she's gonna be apprehensive. Like the writing's on the wall, and also I'm pretty sure she's seen what Amazon has done with Lord of the Rings series, which by all accounts and by hardcore Lord of the Rings purists is abysmal dog shit, and that's the nicest way of saying it. Of course, she doesn't want them to have creative control over it, but you know, eventually the money and the figures become too big to ignore. Also, her age, her and Will and what was it, Michael Wilson?
Yeah, Michael
Was
G.
it Michael?
Wilson.
Wilson? Yeah, Michael G. Wilson. They're old and they just want to like retire at this point, and no one else, and there really is no other recourse. So they just went ahead and sold. But she's right. I wouldn't trust Amazon with any IP. Just like how, I wouldn't trust Disney with Star Wars or trust them with Marvel. At least now. So she was right to be worried. And she was completely right to call them, quote, fucking idiots.
Yeah, because they're not gonna like like Amazon's not gonna want to take a chance like as an unknown actor, right? They're gonna look for someone who's like established and they can just throw money at, right? Like it's like the modern Disney Marvel problem, right? Like Disney used to take chances on actors that you wouldn't really think of, right? Like Chris Evans like wasn't a big actor, and then he's Captain America now. Like we all know him as Captain America. No one knows who the fuck Chris Hemsworth was, like at all. No one knew who that guy was.
So to be fair, those decisions were made before Disney bought Marvel, I
No,
think.
some of them.
But not the
Some of them.
okay.
Yeah, I know.
I'll-
I know what you're saying because Iron Man wasn't Disney. I know that the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
Iron
yeah.
Man
But
wasn't Disney.
keep talking. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, but like the first Iron Man wasn't Disney.
No, that for sure was not. Like Robert Downey Jr. was a true, uh, like Hail Mary shot that paid off in spades,
Tremendously.
dude.
When did they buy? Oh, Disney buys Marvel in 2000, like
August.
late 2009. Okay.
Okay, and okay, cool.
So
And then let's
the
correlate that.
and then I think Iron Man came out in 2007.
8. Actually, no, it was 2008. Oh, so they actually bought them 1 year after.
Yes, they bought him 1 year after, right? And then Thor was
Oh shit.
2011.
Oh damn. And then of course the Avengers was 2012, and we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, and then Captain
But damn.
America, First Avenger, that came out 2011. So this was under Disney, right? So Disney
Damn.
was okay with taking some risks at that time. And then
Yeah.
they got all that money, and now they want to take no risks at all. They just want to stick to their formula. And
Yeah.
and it comes to casting, they're just gonna get big names, right? They're not gonna take any chances on people. And Amazon's gonna take that same approach, right?
It 100%. I completely agree with you on that.
They're not gonna do anything interesting creatively because it's gonna be risky. They'll probably do like some series on who knows fucking what. They'll probably be like, oh, let's give Moneypenny a series because people care about Moneypenny, I guess. Let's give Q his own series.
Yeah, Q his own series. Judy Dench. I mean, I would see an M series. Judy Dench.
Judy Dench's like 90 something years old. She's on death's door.
She can.
She's not gonna want to do it.
No, she can do. She can do like Young Sheldon, where she voices like
She's
she
90.
narrates. She narrates. Man, shut up! I'm just saying what would be interesting, but it's interesting. It's not gonna be, I don't know. It's not gonna be anything cookie cutter or expected, Or they'll do a James Bond series of him being bullied at Skyfall at the orphanage,
Yes, because people want to see that.
Yeah, no, of course they want to see that. No. Actually, they will want to see it. They will want to see it. Absolutely. The modern audience wants to see it.
Of course.
They want to see him get bullied as a child. But but she's right in what she said, and I really have no faith in Amazon to carry out the series faithfully. In any case.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Like, is it going to be a Rings of Power, or is it going to be like The Boys or Invincible? Right? Because those are two really good shows.
Yeah, but also those were shows that, I mean, I've never seen the shows, but I know that they're.
Well, Invincible's great, but I know The Boys is well loved, and everyone loves The Boys.
Yeah, everyone loves The Boys. Yeah, but I think those IPs, no one really was paying attention to them. So the people that were in charge of them, they were able to take risks because no one really gave a shit about what they were doing. But now
they spent $1 billion fucking dollars on a super huge, well-known IP. Yeah, they're not gonna do shit with it.
No, they're not gonna do dick with it. And whatever they do is gonna be, at best, mediocre. So yeah, so it kind of sucks because it kind of sucks because the last James Bond movie was really, really good, and I'm sad that we will not get to see, honestly, that we won't get to see Ralph Fiennes as M, because I think he fucking crushes that role really well. I'm a huge Ralph Fiennes fan.
Yeah, he's a great actor. So
yeah,
you can put him in fucking anything. He'll be great.
Yeah. So they're just gonna milk it. Yep. They're gonna milk this forever.
Yeah. Well, speaking of milking, we got another beloved IP that has been milked, and we have a certain woman that has been responsible for that milking.
The only difference is this milk has been sour since they acquired it. Yeah. So anyway, I'll take it from here. So Kathleen put a chick in it and make her gay and lame Kennedy is expected to step down as president of Lucasfilm by the end of the year. So she intends to retire after her current contract ends, according to a source. A separate source close to Kennedy, however, dismissed the initial report as pure speculation and said nothing has been decided. Kennedy has joined Lucasfilm in 2012 when George Lucas, as a co-chair alongside George Lucas, and then shortly after when Lucas sold the Star Wars IP to Disney, Kathleen Kennedy was elevated to president. Now, if you guys look at her history and you actually look at all of the news that she's done, like all the movies that she's done, she's actually held an executive producer role in pretty much all your childhood movies.
Yep.
Like you name it, she was there. Like literally everything that Spielberg touched, that George Lucas touched, and there was a third one. I think Robert Zemeckis too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those movies, she was literally right there with them. And there's actually even behind the scenes like pictures of her chilling like next to the director's chair, like watching it go. So
Gremlins, The Goonies, Back to the Future, An American Tale, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Back to the Future
Robert
2,
Zemeckis.
Back to the Future 3,
all the Indiana Jones, obviously.
Schindler's List, all the Indiana Jones movies.
Spielberg.
E.T.
Yeah, man. She was there as a producer, so she got to see what are essentially like masters of the movie making craft. You got to see them in action, and he got to see them how they make movies. And then finally, she becomes the leader. And what does she make, Jesse? What does she co-sign on?
Force Awakens. Palpatine has returned.
Oh my God, the acolyte.
The acolyte. Oh my God. Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Oh my
Don't be,
God.
oh, bro.
Because I didn't see the acolyte, but I know that show is like cringy.
I didn't have to.
But
I didn't have to.
I did see
Well, you
some
heard.
clips, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" No, but
Well, you heard.
Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was the last straw for me.
Me too.
That
No,
was it.
we are of the same mind in that front. I couldn't believe what they done, and I will never forgive them for what
They turned it
for
into
that.
the Leia show. This is the Leia
No, no,
and
no.
and Riva. They turned it into the
See,
Leia and Riva show.
you can't even remember her name.
It was the
She
Leia.
doesn't
They
matter.
turned it into the Leia and Riva show because show's called Obi-Wan, but let's just not do anything with Obi-Wan.
Whatever, bro. But anyway, oh, but did you hear what happened to the acolyte?
Okay. What?
It's not available on Disney Plus.
Really?
It's scrubbed from what I've heard. So apparently you can't look up merchandise for the acolyte, and you can't look up the show.
No.
Hang on.
I feel like that would have been. That's probably.
Hang on. I think I have my Disney Plus like login on my phone.
It just says it's
Like I
canceled.
should no, it says it's canceled. Let me see.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it's pulled. There's no
Yeah,
way.
well,
But yeah, we got that.
Oh, I gotta log in. Whatever. You know what? Well, I'll look it up later because I have Disney Plus on the TV.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's the acolyte was really really bad, and it really put a stain on her in particular because out of all the Star Wars projects, this was the one that was like hers. Like she said it was her. It was her idea. You know. So it begs the question, like, damn. So this is you with your hands on a project, like, and it ended terribly. But in any case, Kathleen Kennedy actually came out in an interview to quell the rumors of that. I forgot what she had said, but she said like, no, that she was still going to make movies and all this other stuff. So I'm not sure what's happening with her, but if her contract does end at the end of the year, then and they have no plans on renewing it, that's where she's going to be headed. But she may be spending this time to kind of like groom her successor and all that shit.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, but she has presided over what is essentially a failure in terms of Star Wars. 3 mainline movies that did literally nothing. Star Wars shows that literally amounted to what was at best mediocre and at worst garbage, with the exception of Andor, from what I've heard.
Which is not even her. It's just Tony Gilroy. And they just told him they just let him do whatever he wants pretty much. It's just do what
Now,
they left him alone.
Isn't that funny?
And Rogue One too.
Isn't that strange that you hire people that know what the fuck they're doing and then you let them do it?
The guy doesn't even like Star Wars. He's quoted as saying he doesn't like Star Wars.
Bro. Well, it's funny because it's the same thing about with Captain America. You know that the Russo brothers hate the character of Cap.
Oh, really?
And they ended up, yeah, they did. Actually, it was their primary motivation for making the Winter Soldier. But what they did is they kept Cap's personality and his morals, but put them in contrast with the world around him, which ended up being really fucking good for a movie story. And look at that, and ended up being, well, in my opinion, the best MCU movie. I really liked
Winter Soldier, and they did. They did Civil War too. I think they did Civil War,
well,
and they did both Avengers movies.
They did. Well, Civil War was like the tryouts. Like Disney wanted to see if they can handle if the Russo brothers can handle the ensemble cast.
Yeah, because I mean, Captain America was pretty much an Avengers movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
The
Civil War movie,
it was practically Avengers.
Yeah, like that's why I said it was a tryout movie. But hey, they killed it. But in any case, dude, you just gotta hire people that know what the hell they're doing. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to like an IP, but if they have an interesting idea and they execute it right, it could work. But I feel like everyone that worked on these Star Wars movies really had no idea what the hell they were doing.
They need to. We
Because
always said it. They didn't have a plan.
no, they did not have a
They
plan.
didn't
They
have
did
a
not.
plan. Well, I did see like
No, actually,
a while back a video. I forgot from who, but it's like a 3-hour, 4-hour video. It's like insane.
fuck. Okay.
It's like I forgot from who. I have to look it up. But they were talking about like the history of like how the Star Wars trilogy, the new one, came to be, and apparently there was a plan. There was a narrative team, and like from the beginning they wanted Palpatine to be back. But then that just tells me like, okay, you need a good plan. Okay, you need a good plan, and you need a plan of new ideas. Okay,
They just rehashed old content.
and it also
And
shows me that like you can have a plan, but you just know how to connect the dots.
Which, but yeah, so it kind of sucks because when George Lucas sold the franchise, he actually had like a bullet point, like an outline for a 3-part trilogy, and gave it to Disney so that they can use it, and they wiped their ass with it. On top of the fact that they made the genius decision to essentially decanonize all of the Star Wars extended universe. So all those books, all those games, like Jedi Academy, Knights of the Old Republic, were no longer canon for the Star Wars franchise. And people were pissed. And then they got even more pissed with the infamous Kathleen Kennedy quote. Do you remember this quote?
No, what?
It's so hard to make Star Wars movies when you don't have material to draw. Bro, I lost it. I think everybody and their mother lost it with that quote. The lady gets rid of all of the extended universe and then has the audacity to be like, "Oh, we don't have any inspiration to draw from for these stories." Ridiculous. So anyway, she's planning to exit Lucasfilm at the end of 2025, and let's see what comes after. Yeah, we knew that she wasn't. What?
Well, I was going to say, let's hope it's something better, because what we have is one good We have one good Star Wars movie in the trilogy that was kind of soured by the next two movies. Then we have Rogue One, which is a really good movie, probably the best out of like all the Star Wars movies that came out. What?
I just want to say, the first movie, The Force Awakens, when it came out, it was good, but for it to have been great, it had to have stuck the execution of the next two movies.
That's what I mean. The next two movies soured
Because
retroactively.
No, yeah, exactly. But yeah, because looking back, like, I defended it too, because I told people like, oh no, like it was just a homage to the original Star Wars, it kind of played the same tune while setting up for a new story. It's gonna get better, and it never got better.
It just got worse.
It never got better. It just got worse. And you know what? Yeah, no, it just got worse. Ryan Johnson fucked it up really bad.
And then we got Rogue One, but Rogue One was really good. And we got Andor, which is amazing. And then everything after that is okay. I mean, like, there is the Bad Batch, but like I never watched the Clone Wars show.
Bad Batch was good.
But people say like Bad Batch is good. People said, Clone Wars, but Clone Wars was Lucas era.
Lucas and Dave Filoni, which, I really recommend Clone Wars and I recommend Bad Batch, but do Clone Wars first and then do Bad Batch.
Yeah, because you have to. That's the order.
Yeah, you have to. But it's good. It's good content.
Yeah,
but
and then Rebels is apparently really good too, from what I hear.
It is. Again, watch Clone Wars first and then Rebels and then Bad Batch afterwards.
That's the problem. I have to watch a fucking 5-season, 6-season show before I can watch the 3-season show, before I can watch the other 2-season show.
It's better than everything else that is on Disney Plus right now when it comes to Star Wars.
I'm just gonna watch Andor. I'm just gonna watch Andor.
Okay, fine. But there is good content out there that just is not it's not by Kathleen Kennedy.
Okay. Well, you know what is
Oh,
good content out there?
please tell me what is good content. Please, I'm begging for good content.
Well, it's not exactly in a galaxy far, far away, but it is in a history
Time
period.
period.
Time period, yes. Far, far away.
Yes.
And that is the medieval ages. And that with the medieval ages comes Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That was such a terrible segue. Okay. I had something going in my head, and that's like, that's
We
okay,
we
look,
were both on a
it's
roll.
sold a shitload of copies, okay? All these
It
segues
really
can't
did.
be good. But Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the latest big hit RPG based on the history period of medieval Europe, specifically in the Bohemian area, which is modern day Czech Republic, has sold 2 million copies in less than 2 weeks. And this game has been an absolute smash hit, as you can see by, the game selling 2 million copies so fast, but also has reviewed really well. It has got an 88 on Metacritic, I believe, and is already being hailed as like a Game of the Year contender.
Yeah.
It's just too bad GTA 6 is coming out, so like it's gonna be the most boring video game awards ever. But needless to say, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been doing absolute numbers, and this is a really, really great success story to hear about, because Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 was like a game that started off as like a Kickstarter, and it had like a very small team being developed by Warhorse, which is a Czech-based studio. And they really wanted to make like a history-based RPG game. So like, there's no like magic or any of that stuff. It's all just real life, authentic history that you live in medieval Europe, medieval Bohemia, and you are doing like all these medieval things, like smithing and horse riding, and it's very much also an RPG game with this big, beautiful, reactive world that changes depending upon your decisions, with story decisions that really change depending on what you do. But Kingdom Deliverance 1 was like a flawed gem, whereas Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the game that they originally wanted to make, essentially. And it has blossomed into this wonderful game that is now an early Game of the Year contender. And personally, like, I actually wasn't too interested in the game, but like after seeing like skill up review for it, I was like, okay, I may have to check this out. Right? I don't know about you, but like the high scores plus like skill up, like loving the game and like describing like what makes it so good with this amazing reactive world. I'm like, okay, I might have to check this out.
I do want to play, but if I do, I want to play the original one first and then jump into the second one.
I'm not going from 180-hour long game to another 80-hour long game. I'm just gonna go to the second.
I don't know, man. You might play that second game and be like, damn, bro, I might have to just play the first one. And then where you will be?
I don't think I can do another Trails of Cold Steel in me, where I just
Yeah,
pound
but
through four 100-hour long games in a row.
Yeah, but I think this one will be worth it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Cold Steel was worth it. I'm just saying, like, this is, quality level RPG.
It was worth it until 4, and then it was like, okay, where are we going with this?
Exactly.
But if you are a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 enjoyer, you can look forward to 3 new expansions that come out in 2025 with spring, summer, and autumn. Looking to see some updates as well as winter. Each one's going to be a expansion with, well, the spring one's going to be some features. You're going to get the barber features, some extra customizations, a hardcode mode.
Yeah.
And the horse racing. And then summer, autumn, and winter will be seeing some story-based expansion packs. So all around, it seems like, hey, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is doing some hot business now, and you're going to get even more of it.
Hell yeah, brother.
So any thoughts on this?
I'm happy because Kingdom Come Deliverance really does look like a good game. And again, if I do play it, I'll play the first one and then the second one. But I trust that the game's good.
Yeah, and I mean, not just that. Like, it's also like a game that you would never see like any big company make. Like, this is truly something that belongs in like the AA space, because I think this game cost like 40 million, I think they said. And like, it's a huge game. It looks beautiful. Now, bear in mind, it was made in the Czech Republic, so like standard of living isn't as high there. So people need to spend as much money on things as you would here, say, in America, on like, employment costs and stuff and overhead. But still, like, it shows like you can make a big game and like take a risk on a unique setting like this, where the emphasis isn't on like magic and like easy like gameplay and stuff, because a lot of games nowadays have to be like really easy to be accessible to casual audiences, right? This is a game that's like very much hardcore, right? It has like a save system that's like very hostile. Like you can't save wherever you want. You can only save like a certain time. So like if you die, you lose like 30-40 minutes of progress. You have to pretty much work for like everything. Like you're pretty much like a piece of shit in the beginning. Like you have like no anything whatsoever. You have to like build all of your stuff yourself. So it's a very time consuming game that like a lot of big companies will look at that and be like, okay, this is a waste of time. We have to get rid of this because like this is going to waste gamers' time. People are going to be mad. But no, like this is clearly that isn't the case. Clearly there's an audience out there of people who don't mind a more hardcore experience. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, I think, sold like 10 million copies, something like that. So it sold extremely well. I don't think 10 million, it was like 8 million. But that was really high, right? And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 looks like it's going to sell even more.
Yeah, I think that the game's going to do some serious numbers.
All right,
Well, I mean, it already has.
So any other thoughts before we move on? Because I mean, this is just sales, and like this episode's gone long enough.
Yeah,
but,
no, not really.
But speaking of good sales,
speaking of great sales for already a great game, a game that you have put your stamp of approval on, is
and then some.
Final, and then some, and then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth launched on Steam, and it shot to number 3 in the U.S. charts. And well, what can I say? You sell games on Steam, make big money. But notably, Final Fantasy Rebirth launched as a platform exclusive on the PS5. When did it launch again? Like 2 years ago? 1 year ago?
Last year.
Last year. Oh
Rebirth
shit!
was last year. Yeah, Rebirth came out in February.
Yeah, that's right. No, because I forget that they're starting to come out like sooner and sooner. Like the exclusivity is kind of like dying out.
It was just a 6-month deal.
Oh, it's a 6-month deal?
Yeah,
Oh,
Remake
okay.
was a 1-year deal. This one's a 6-month deal.
Yeah.
And the next one they already said it's gonna be multi-platform.
Yeah. But yeah, January 2025, the exclusivity was no more, and it debuted on Steam, and it made it really good. Like I said, it's shot to number 3 on the charts, and I think Sony's and Square Enix are starting to become wise with PC, because I know that this game apparently, according to their own expectations, didn't sell as well as they thought it would. So,
and they never revealed numbers. So that's very telling.
That is extremely telling. So, in a quote, I forgot who said the quote, but it said, quote, "It's looking harder and harder to release exclusivity on a single platform without significant incentives provided by the platform holder." So, what they're saying is kind of what we've already guessed. Exclusivity is a thing of the past. No one really gives a crap anymore. People are willing to wait years and years and years for a game to be available on their platform. Examples are God of War, Uncharted, the Kingdom Hearts games. People refused to buy it on Epic for the longest time, and literally came out on Steam, and I bought everything. I bought the whole set. Super cheap too. It's like 20 games in that bitch. But I think it's more indicative of the trend that you just start to have multi-platform releases, and you will literally make all the money with little to no effort. And you said it yourself. You have a PS5, and the only games it's played is Rebirth and what else?
What? Oh, the games out of PS5?
Yeah.
Dude, Remake, Rebirth, Spider-Man. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. All 3 are available on PC, by the way.
And Astro Bot I'll get soon, dude. There's just too much shit. If Marvel Rivals didn't fucking take up all of December, I would have gotten Astro Bot. But they pretty much owned December and January for me. And then Monster Hunter came out.
Yeah, so yeah. So, I mean, that's good news for the industry. But that's really all I have to say. These both were just sales stories.
Oh, yes. The quotes is they were asking Piscastella's opinion on the situation.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Excuse me. Let me see where is it?
Right here.
Yeah, Piscatella. Oh, yeah, there it is. Sorry. So, Piscatella, they asked him for his opinion, and this is what he said. "I mean, it's hard for me to say what impact the Steam release has had on publisher perception of overall title success. That's subject to all kinds of internal planning and expectations I'm not privy to, of course, but purely looking at consumer response, it was a very good launch month on Steam. This launch does provide yet another benchmark that shows release on PC makes a ton of sense at this point, regardless of the genre or historical release strategies. Again, outdated publishing strategies.
Yeah, because releasing Final Fantasy games like exclusively on PlayStation worked, 20 years ago when games didn't cost $1 bajillion to make. But games are very, very expensive now, and Final Fantasy in particular is very, very expensive, and it's always been very, very expensive because that's been like their selling point. It's like, hey, like we was the most cutting edge, amazing graphics that you can get, and like this amazing cinematic story that like makes use of those graphics. And as time has gone on, we've gone diminishing returns on graphical fidelity, so like that selling point is kind of moot. And then on top of that, games are getting more and more expensive to make.
Yeah, they're getting more and more expensive, so you definitely want to maximize the return. And also, it makes no sense considering that it's easier than ever to distribute games wherever you want. Like there's a platform everywhere. So yeah, it's easy way to 2x your sales to make money and recoup those costs that you spent on live service games. Yeah, but do you have any else you want to say?
No, I'm glad that a great game's finally getting, proper sales.
Yes.
I mean, luckily, they have Kitase and Nomura backing it up, so like it would be very hard for Square to be like, we're going to get cold feet on this third one. But no, like Kitase and Nomura and I forgot the director's name, but all three of them are like, no, we're not. We don't have cold feet. It's okay. Like we're not gonna, reduce the scope of what we're doing in the third game. The third game's gonna be even bigger. It's gonna be better than Rebirth. We're not deterred by the sales at all, which is great because like that's what we want on the Final Fantasy games. Like we want these games to be big and awesome because that's what they've been for such a long time.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready to sign us off?
Absolutely, man. Alrighty. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Two Bar Connection. We really appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. If you can please leave a like down below and hit the subscribe button for updates, and also leave a comment if there's any stories or games that you would like us to cover. We are available primarily on YouTube for the video version of a podcast, but audio-only versions are available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify. And you can also follow us on our socials, which is
Twitter, just Twitter.
Literally just Twitter. Yeah.
Just Twitter.
You can follow us on our Twitter handle, which we will all link down below in the description. So thank you very much.
Yeah, at 2 Bar Podcast. That is our
at 2 Bar Podcast. Absolutely.
All right. So with that, thank you for listening. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Peace.
Bye, everybody.